Well, there are hundreds of homeless men, women, and families that count on Joy Junction, Albuquerque's largest emergency homeless shelter, for shelter and a hot meal. But the cupboard is bare. And joining us today is Jeremy Reynolds, founder and CEO of Joy Junction. Welcome back, Jeremy.
Thank you.
Great to
nice
have
to be
you
here.
It's great to have you. You do so many wonderful things for the community. And we also want to welcome our wonderful friend, Kathy Sotelo.
Yes.
I got it right.
Thanks,
Good,
Nikki.
good. And I really appreciate you both being here, because let's tell your story a little bit, Jeremy, for those who don't know, because you came to America more than 30 years ago, and he came to America with $50 in his pocket, and you were essentially homeless yourself. So how did you endure life on the streets?
It was more like couch hopping for a while, and it was miserable. We went from friend to friend. My worst 2 or 3 nights were at the end of January and February in 1982, when I was literally on the border of New Mexico and Texas.
Okay.
And I slept that night on a fiberglass mattress behind a restaurant, just for a few days. But basically, it was as bad having to couch surf or couch hopping, and it's everything you take for granted.
Absolutely.
You know, like this morning when we came in, you know, you guys gave us coffee. Well, we hoped you would, you know, but right. But it's something, when you go home and you have a cup of coffee or a glass of Coke, you don't think twice about it. But everything we take for granted, the homeless can't. We take a bed for granted. We take getting up in the morning for granted, having stuff for the kids for granted. Everything is, when you're homeless, everyone is dependent upon the generosity of some other man or woman.
Exactly. And, you know, I mean, even so much as something like last night when things started to get cold, and I thought, oh my gosh, I need to turn the heat on. And, you know, you just don't think about people on the streets. I mean, you obviously did. So talk about the beginning of Joy Junction and how it all came about.
Well, I came to New Mexico in 1982, basically homeless.
Right.
And in '86, I began this place. I heard about a vacant place, acreage. At the time, it was 72 acres available in the South Valley. So I went to the group that then owned the acreage. My name is Jeremy Reynolds. I want to start a shelter for homeless families, not just single women or single men, but typically agencies, missions, you know, for the homeless have had to split mom and dad up. So just think, you know, you're with your husband, significant other, kids, and at one of the worst points in time in your entire life, you get split up. The vision I believe God gave me was to have a place for the family, husband, wife, and kid, men, significant others, and kids, to keep them together.
Keep them together. I mean,
and
that's
give them a place to get back on their feet, all without the aid of any money from Uncle Sam. Exactly,
and just allow them to stay together and work through it together. And you're transforming lives. So talk a little bit about how you're doing that.
You know, we have a faith-based life recovery program, basically like a Jesus version of the AA. And out of the 300 or so people we have staying with us each and every night on our life recovery program, we have, last count I believe was like 85 people. We have classes, we have work, therapy, and so on. And basically it's all geared towards getting people back on their feet again by giving them the discipline that maybe they lacked. They became homeless in the first place, by exploring some of the catastrophic issues and hurts, deep internal hurts that maybe some of our viewers don't even think about that have landed people homeless. I read a comment the other day, said, you know, Nikki's homeless, she just needs to get back on her feet. The great American dream, she can do it. Well, maybe not. Maybe, like, even you look beautiful this morning, but maybe you're nursing hurts like many other people can't see. Only you know. And there so
nobody knows. I mean, everybody can put on a happy face, but you don't know what somebody's going through on the inside. Absolutely.
So one of the things of our life recovery program is to help people through a chaplain and a case manager with dealing with those hurts to help people get back on their feet again. One of the best things that ever happened to me last weekend, we've been going through a food issue, as you know. We've had less food than
that's what I said. The cupboard is bare. I mean, it's a scary thought.
Mother Hubbard's cupboard, you know, is bare. And so this guy turns up with a whole bunch of food on the back of his truck. And I asked him the story as to why he chose us. He said, you know what, dude? He goes, I stayed at Joy Junction 14 years ago when he was in his late teens. He said, I'm back on my feet again. I'm married. I'm working, and I want to give back to the organization to help me out. Folks, it's working through God's kindness and through the generosity of our local friends here also.
Well, you gave to him, and now he's ready to give back. And Kathy, let me ask you this. I mean, how many people are you finding generally are seeking shelter at Joy Junction at this point?
Well, we can house up to 300, and we're at capacity every night. And we're turning away anywhere from 5 to 20 a night. So at a minimum, 320.
Wow. I mean, you're helping a lot of people, but even if you have to turn away one person, it's heartbreaking.
Absolutely, it is.
And you know, you're preparing meals, and you're talking about the fact that this man was so generous bringing meals. Generally, how many meals do you have to prepare a day?
We serve 10,000 meals a day at the shelter.
Wow.
I'm sorry, a month. A month.
10,000 a day, that's a lot of food.
A month. But so in addition to that, an additional 6,000 from our Lifeline of Hope, which is our mobile feeding unit a month.
That's great.
So we're looking at 16,000 meals a month.
And we go all around the city to various homeless hotspots. Some people, for whatever reason, can't stay in a mission. Maybe they feel claustrophobic, or if they just can't have walls around them. So we seek out some of the various homeless hotspots around town where people have to pay for a place to stay. Quite literally, Nikki, that they have to make a conscious daily choice between having a place to stay or having a burger. It's so easy for many people that don't know to condemn these folks.
Well,
but
as you said, taking for granted the basics of our lives. And Joy Junction is actually experiencing serious strains, as I mentioned, due to the region's troubled economy. So how has the shelter changed because of the changing times we're living in right now?
Primarily, I think right now what we're seeing is, as you mentioned, you know, a lack of food.
Right.
And that's huge.
Well, and we've had to do, that's a great point, we have had to do much more with less. We've had to be, we've always been smart with the bucks donors give us.
Yes.
But we've had to be really, really smart and make the work of $1 do the work of $2. And basically we have many more people that are empathetic to the needs of the homeless, because everybody feels maybe it'll be me next week or next month. But the people that used to give are now having problems in their own discretionary income. So they're wanting to volunteer, but they can't give. So our issues are, we have more need, but less resources to deal with that need.
So let's tell people how they can help with some of the greatest needs that you're having right now. Like you said, is probably food is #1, correct?
It is. And if they go to our website at joyjunction.org, we have a wish list, if you will.
Oh, good.
So they'll know exactly what we're in need of.
Okay,
and also Facebook. Look us up at Facebook. Like us at Facebook.
Yes.
Great. Yeah, social media, a great way to get everybody involved. And you're actually going to be having an anniversary celebration. So on the happy side, you're doing something to celebrate all the good that you've done. So tell us what you've planned.
We are so excited. It's a 20s and 30s type celebration.
Ooh, I love those days.
So we'll have a big band. It'll happen Friday, October the 21st at the Hotel Albuquerque. Silent auction begins at 6:15. Doors open at 7. Tickets are $75 per or $150 for a couple.
Okay.
So they can go to joyjunction.org to buy tickets. Join us. It's going to be fun.
Great. I love that idea.
Well, we really need people, Nikki, because the economy is so sluggish. Even though we think the ticket price is pretty fair, we want to give people the ability to have a night out to help the homeless, but also to have fun.
Exactly. That's a great way to spend money. You're doing something fun and you're helping people at the same time.
Ticket sales are so sluggish. So we really need people to go to give our event staff a call, 505-217-1824, or even go online, maybe buy 100 tickets.
Do it. If you can do it, do it. You're doing it for a good cause. And Jeremy, Kathy, thank you both so much for all that you do. I know the community thanks you as well.
Thank
you so much for having us. That's great. Thank you.
We'll have you back again. And speaking of eating, we're actually eating dessert first this morning on New Mexico Style. Village Inn is next. Don't go away.